Michael is an experienced computer scientist and a data scientist with a PhD from the Southern Federal University in Russia, here where he also teaches as an assistant professor on the topic of deep learning and its applications in computer vision, natural language processing. So what Michael would tell us is how exactly data science fits Vlad's previous description and definition of fractional hiring. So Michael, I'll let you take the stage now, and yeah.
Thank you, Vadim. So my part is about how data science fits fractional hiring, and I'll cover different types of cooperation with data scientists, and I would like to start from fixed price projects. Actually, fixed price projects are the easiest way for cooperation, and typically fixed price projects are used when the scope of project is easy to understand. It's can be easily estimated. The tasks can be discussed and specified before starting any works, and it's easy to estimate the complexities of work, deadlines. It's easy to understand how much efforts needed to be invested in finishing of such project. And it's important to note that when you work on fixed price model, everything should be specified in the contract before starting actual works. But when we when we solve data science projects, it imposes that it will be required to do research and iterative work, and often next iterations often depend on the previous ones, and sometimes for data scientists it's easy to predict an accuracy of resulting model before starting actual works, because data scientists should learn more about the data of the customer, should do certain experiments, and that's why preliminary estimation looks very difficult in the scope of fixed price projects. Often data scientists have to dive into the client's industry as well. They have to understand what hardware will be used for managing of neural networks, for example, what lighting will be used, what environment conditions, and so on. So data scientists should understand the client's industry and the environment better, and everything should be, all this stuff should be discussed before starting actual works when we use fixed price project. Let's consider example of data science project. So I have selected quite famous problem, car model recognition. It's quite popular, and the problem looks quite straightforward. Data scientists should develop a model that takes on the input photo, and the model should return the vehicle's model. The vehicle is presented on the photo. While the definition of this problem looks easy, but several questions should be discussed. For example, what accuracy should be achieved by data scientists? What models, car models, should be supported? Should we support just cars from the one country, or should we cover all countries? It's also important to understand how much images does a customer have in the data set, and so on. So many questions we should discuss before starting any works when we work on fixed price model. So looks like we have to use outsourcing. Outsourcing of data science is can be used often, but if you are a startup and you want to move fast, you want to collaborate, you want to work in flexible manner with dedicated people, in this case, outsourcing of data scientists, data science work doesn't look great because of the nature of how outsourcing companies work. First of all, many outsourcing companies put managers between developers and data scientists, and sometimes it's very difficult to communicate between parties. And that's why collaboration is not flexible. Moreover, project scopes can be difficult to change. So it looks like we have to use full-time hiring, and it can resolve all the problems. But when you decide to hire a full-time data scientist, you should answer several questions. For example, do you have much data for full-time data scientists? If you don't have much data, then data scientists will not be able to work efficiently. Sometimes training of neural networks takes a huge amount of time, like weeks or even months. And you should think what will data scientists do during experiments. Will the data scientists be efficient during this time? And the last one, for example, you want to hire data scientists that should cover different skills. For example, you need to train a neural network. You want to deploy this model in production in the cloud, optimize it for mobile devices, or you want to set up a cloud. So in practice, you will have to hire several full-time engineers. So it will be not be budget friendly for you. So Vlad has given great introduction to my mind of fractional hiring. So let's consider how it can be applied in data science. To my mind, fractional hiring works great for innovative AI startups, and that's why. First of all, you don't need to invest huge budgets to work with experts in this field. You can start from small amount of engagement like 10 hours per week, and scale the workload based on the project scope. Moreover, you'll be able to work directly with data scientists and focus on weekly progress. So there will be no managers. So data scientists will be part of your core team. To my mind, fractional hiring works great for research and not typical projects. And the last one, I think it's very important, and fractional hiring doesn't impose bureaucracy. As I told, you can start from small and work in flexible manner. And if you like how a hired person works, you can increase amount of collaboration anytime. To summarize, let's discuss when fractional hiring makes sense. To my mind, it makes sense when the project scope is flexible. You need close collaboration with data scientists, and they should be a part of your team. You want flexible budget management, and you need flexible. You need different skills. You need to cover different skills, and it's difficult for you several full-time employees that cover all the skills. It's easier for you to hire several fractional data scientists. And when the data is difficult to obtain, so when there are not much data, then it's easier to hire fractional data scientists as well. When fractional hiring doesn't make sense. So we have discussed small projects when the projects are strictly defined, there are much data, everything is open source. You can easily estimate how much time needed to solve the problem. You understand, you have strict deadlines, and you have requirements for developer projects. In this case, you should use fixed price projects, to my mind. But if you don't need to collaborate with data scientists, and it's okay for you to collaborate with manager, then outsourcing of data scientists makes sense.